We moved to the Olympic Stadium or London Stadium, whatever, and things have just kind of progressively got worse. Catalyst for the most recent West Ham sort of rebellion or protest is the sale of Grady Diangana. Mark Noble, the captain, has come out and tweeted and basically said, I don't agree with this sale. I'm not happy to see it. This is not cool. No ambition, no expenditure, more importantly, no explanation.
That could be the case. They're never going to say it.
They are not either rich enough or prepared to spend the sort of money that will actually take us to where this stadium can take us.
And I don't really enjoy supporting football, watching West Ham struggle, everyone moan and whinge all the time, be in a negative atmosphere and clinging on to Premier League status. For what end?
If Declan Rice goes, we're going to be re-signing Carlos Sanchez on a free transfer, mate. All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. I am joined by Seb once again.
Hello, everybody.
And I am in my West Ham shirt, old retro West Ham shirt today for a reason. This video is all about West Ham. Seb and I used to make a lot of videos about West Ham back in the day. We were vlogging, season ticket games. Feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
The Dimitri Payet days at the bowling ground, mate. Magical times.
Beautiful times.
Simpler times.
They were simpler. We vlogged a little bit into the new stadium as well.
Yes.
Main reason for those of you that still ask about that they don't exist anymore, is due to hashtag, really. We're at hashtag games pretty much every single Saturday, midweek games. We almost never can go to West Ham games. We actually don't. We didn't continue our season ticket this year. I'm going to be honest about that. We've continued it every season for the last 2 seasons of hashtag, even though I went to 2 games last year and probably 3 or 4 the year before. And if we're being super honest, like, my love for West Ham has probably been affected a little bit by hashtag, and that's not going to go down well with the West Ham fans. They're going to be like, oh, plastic. Like, guys, come to me when you've created your own football team and you're in the FA Cup and you're in the non-league pyramid, and that's not a dig, that's just life. When you've got your own team and you're running that and you're thinking every single day about it, the club that you grew up supporting and have supported all of our lives, it becomes second fiddle a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm still a West Ham fan. I'll always be a West Ham fan. If the day ever comes to hashtag play West Ham, which would be an amazing situation to be in, I would want hashtag to win.
I would want hashtag to win.
That's just the reality. I'm sorry. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. I've started off on a kind of negative from a West Ham standpoint there. But I want to talk about whether West Ham themselves played any part in that happening. I've talked many times before on the True Geordie podcast about some individual experiences I've had when I sort of started to have some success on YouTube and I started doing things with West Ham. There was a small segment of the West Ham fan base that kind of turned against me, which I was really, really disappointed with. I had some quite distressing individual experiences in other countries at away games and stuff, which, to be honest, it's impossible. I don't care who you are. If you'd lived through that and done that, it would affect your love for the club a little bit, regardless of it not representing the whole fan base.
Not the club's fault.
Not the club's fault. And the club actually were good enough to invite me to do certain things. But equally, from that point on, I think certain West Ham fans have viewed me in a certain way as well, because I did things with the club, because I was lucky enough to be invited to host a kit launch or I went on the West Ham plane to an away game, which is absolutely ridiculous in the European qualifier. They seem to think that we're like working together in some way, or there's been no money ever changed hands between me and the club, right? I've never been paid to say anything about West Ham or anything like that.
We pay for our season tickets. We pay for them full price.
Tickets paid for. I'm not even sure I would have accepted that if that had been offered to me, because I want to remain, partisan. As a West Ham fan, I want to be able to say what I feel. And in those vlogs, I think a lot of the reason people watch those vlogs often is because we lost a lot and they wanted to see us reacting to us losing. So, all these things, plus some stuff we're going to get on to talk about today with what's happened with West Ham generally outside of my own involvement as a club over the last few years, has probably affected my enjoyment of being a West Ham fan, my desire to go to games. Even sometimes when they didn't clash, I wouldn't go to a West Ham game, even though I had a season ticket. Partly because it's nice to have a break if you've not got a Saturday game. But also, there's, to be honest, a little bit of disenfranchisement with the club. That's what we want to talk about today. It's will we say it's at an all-time low right now? I don't know.
We're not an all-time low. Like, I'm a pragmatic guy. There's a lot of people that hate the stadium move. I don't like what's happened with it, but I'm behind the reasons why we did it. 100%, always have been. I'm gutted that we lost the Upton Park on the bowling ground. I absolutely loved going there. Would I love us to be playing there next week? Would I want to go to the game a little bit more? Yes. But the deal had to be done. Have we ultimately kicked on?
Did it?
No, it did. It did have to be done. It was too good a deal to be done. I'm not saying the work we've got out of it is what we should have got out of it, but I'm saying there's no way that anyone who's properly looking at a football club in a realistic world, we take romance out of it, the deal had to be done. Have we got from it what I hoped we'd get from it in the financial muscle and the ability to kick on? Probably not, no. Have we got it? Are we ever going to get it? I'm still optimistic. You know, you don't know what these clauses are around the stadium ownership. If it is true and there's a clause in the contract that means we get to own the stadium in a certain period of time, and that makes the club even more saleable potentially in the future to outside money, to the extent of like some of the sums we've talked about from other clubs' takeover bids recently, that is massive for us. And I'm going to support West Ham for hopefully another 60 odd years. So as much as I'm very frustrated now, I still believe that decision will hold us in good stead in the future, especially when it probably means they will do some sort of development to it to make it a bit more of a intimate experience, because ultimately that's what it does lack. Because I'm the same as you. If I haven't got hashtag, or I'm not spending time with family, or I'm doing golf, if I have not got any of those things, to then want to go to West Ham is a stretch. Last season I went to one game. It was the Spurs game. We lost 3-2 in. And we're paying for a season ticket the whole year and going to one game. So I don't miss it. I'll be honest, I don't miss it right now.
Right, let's talk about why, though, because forgetting hashtag for a second, right? You touched on the stadium move, okay? That's very, very crucial to the situation. There's been Jim White on TalkSport has recently come out and kind of criticised West Ham fans, almost saying, like, we want too much, we're always unhappy, we're never giving the board the backing, etc., etc., etc. Now, whilst I can see why it might look like that from the outside in, there has been this kind of feeling of animosity around West Ham for the last few years. It is, in my opinion, all built around the stadium move. And not because, there is definitely a segment of people that didn't want to move, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Don't care what you said to them, how you could have sold them a European dream or anything, they would not want to have moved. And that's always going to happen when you do something like that. But the majority, I think, were open to it if they saw the reasons why. The fact is, we haven't improved. No. Like, our last season at the Bowling was our best ever in the Premier League in terms of goal difference. It was 7th in the league. We came 5th once before on the Glen Road.
It was the most enjoyable by far, wasn't it?
We had a negative goal difference and we finished 5th. Like, this was our best season, in my opinion, for many reasons. We had our best player we probably ever had in terms of footballing ability in Dimitri Payet. We moved to the Olympic Stadium or London Stadium, whatever, and things have just kind of progressively got worse. I mean, the catalyst for this video and the catalyst for the most recent West Ham sort of rebellion or protest is the sale of Grady Diangana. Okay, one of our own, a lad that we've built through the youth team. Sent him out to get some loan experience of West Brom last season. After playing a few games for us in the Prem the year before, did really well for them, helped him get promoted automatically. They've managed to get him for £18 million.
Still.
With add-ons. Like, I think
it feels like I've been robbed, really. It does.
So the main reason I think people are concerned about this is no one's been bought. There's been no use of that money come in. We've sold 2 other strikers in this window, neither of which were first team, and Hugh Gill and Ajeti, but both of which were sold for less than we bought them for. So we've lost money on them. We've now got a fairly thin squad that had a relegation battle last year. No ambition, no expenditure, and more importantly, no explanation.
It's worrying. I think ultimately the club will say that they spent some good money in previous windows, and with what's going on right now, they had to balance the books, and that meant someone had to go out in order to strengthen in areas of the team. Like, Diangana is a great player. We have got cover in that position. Is it better than him? We don't know. They're not performing that well right now at the end of last season, although, let's be honest, the end of last season was very strong. We played some very good football that did get us kept up, so hopefully that momentum can continue. But ultimately, it seems as though we had to sell in order to bring in. We haven't brought in anyone else yet, and I think we've lost like a little hidden gem, well, not hidden gem, but an unfulfilled potential in Diangana, who not only been at the club for over 10 years, was a massive favourite we're led to believe in the dressing room, playing some fantastic football at such a low price in today's market, to not bring anyone else in. Now, we are led to believe there will be people being brought in by the club before the end of the window, but are they going to be offsetting that? Ultimately, it feels like a real kick in the teeth when you have gone through these tough times, a poor season last year apart from the end, and we're now letting things like this go, and there's other clubs that we feel like we should be ahead of, going out and spending more, making more exciting signings. Like, it just hurts, doesn't it? And the difficult thing is, Ben, we all want explanations, but we all know the more information football clubs reveal publicly, the less bargaining chips they hold in the negotiations. So there's a very good reason why they don't share that more. So it's just tough, isn't it? It's hard to take.
Well, we're led to believe a lot of the reason we're becoming a bit of a selling club at the minute is because of finances, money we still owe on old deals. For example, we still owe money to Frankfurt on the Haller deal. That's a big deal. That was £40 million. also have been affected by COVID, as a lot of clubs have. It
Same for everyone, though, isn't it?
Seems like maybe we've been affected more than other clubs.
That's I think the vibe we get from the clubs, that we've been affected more. But I'd love to understand why that is. Like, why are we affected more? You'd think that we don't have, we've got the benefit of not having a big stadium repayment loan that we pay that other clubs have had to do without any ticket share revenue coming in. So I'd like to understand that again. It's one of those things where if there was a statement that explained something, you sort of be like, you know what, guys, you're doing your best, fair play. But they haven't done that. And I do understand why they haven't done that, but it just means there ultimately will always be supporters who are in the dark, who then are led to make their own assumptions. And when things aren't going well in football, those assumptions are always going to be negative, and it starts to put a cloud over things. And right now, let's be honest, the forecast is drizzle.
Yeah, and at best. And I think that when you don't have information, you often have to jump to conclusions. And one conclusion you could jump to, for example, which I've absolutely no evidence of this, but because I don't know the answer, I wonder whether Golden Sullivan's other businesses have been affected badly by COVID, and they're having to save money through the football club. Like, that's one thing I can think of, because I just don't know why it's hurting West Ham so much more than Newcastle, for example. Are we the new Newcastle? And because they've gone out and done some very good business. Yes, they haven't got the Saudi Arabian money they wanted, and they haven't gone and got Mbappe, but they're brought in Ryan Fraser, who would have been a good signing for us. Callum Wilson would have been a great signing for us. We've now got 2 fit strikers, if you include Antonio, who, whilst being amazing towards the back end of last season, is an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah,
okay, and I actually don't think Haller can play up front on his own. So we really have got probably at least 2 more strikers, really, to be a competitive squad. They're looking at bringing in Jamal Lewis from Norwich as well, another young fullback. We've been crying out for fullbacks for a long time. I can't remember the last time we bought one. We lost 2 right backs last year, Zabaleta, and obviously the most probably annoying one was Ngakia, who came in as, again, one of our own, through the youth system, does well, goes to a relegated club.
No, it's so bizarre.
On a free transfer. So we've got Ryan Fredericks, and you could, Ben Johnson as a youngster is our fullback options at right back right now. Cresswell and Masuaku still at left back. It's worrying. I see someone like Ethan Ampadu go on loan to Sheffield United, right, from Chelsea. Wales international, very promising young talent. Why are we not going for someone like him? Surely, if we haven't got any money, okay, I understand maybe we can't go big this summer because we, by our standards, went big in another summer. Why can we not go and use the loan market? There will be youngsters at Chelsea, at Liverpool, at Man United, Man City that need game time that can come to us. Why aren't we trying to do that? We're a very appealing club, like level-wise, for someone like that to come to. London-based, some good young players, playing with people like Declan Rice, who, I mean, imagine if he goes.
I'll tell you this now. If Declan Rice is to leave in this window, I mean, if there aren't already, metaphorical riots, there will be.
But at the start of the window, we probably expected him to leave. But now, because we've got
rid of... not done any business.
So here's a question for you. Again, metaphorical, because I've got no idea if this is actually what's going on. Hypothetical. What if selling Diangana meant we didn't have to sell Rice?
Well, that thing is, that if that came out, again, this is the catch-22 spin, is that could be the case. They're never going to say it. For good reason, to protect future transfer negotiations. They're never going to say that stuff. But when they don't say that stuff, you're just in the dark so much. And it's such one of those weird situations that ultimately football club chairmen or chairpersons across the country are in a ridiculously difficult position to manage the relationship with the fans. And the only way you can guarantee to keep the majority happy, spend loads of money and win constantly, right? Yeah. Almost impossible position. Yeah. So when you can't reveal why you maybe have a very good strategy, if there's a very good strategy, we don't know. If you have a very good strategy and you're managing the stewardship of the club very effectively and very sustainably, you can never shout from the rooftops, we're doing it this way, guys, for these reasons, because then it hurts your ability to do so innately. So you're in a lose-lose situation.
But no, I think I can just say one thing right now, that we don't have a good strategy. Because we're just going off the past.
It doesn't look that way.
Look at the past. Look at the clubs that have, okay? Dortmund, great strategy. I like Dortmund's strategy. They buy young and they sell for massive profit and they go again. And they always buy exciting, young, fast players. Leicester have had a great recruitment strategy the last few years. They lose big players like Mahrez, like Kante. They find new ones like Ndidi, for example. Like Sionchu, when they lost Maguire. And Maguire, they brought in. Unbelievable strategy. Liverpool's transfer strategy is unbelievable. Look at they've been a net profit for the last few years and they've got potentially the best team on planet Earth right now. The strategy's not working first and foremost because the fans aren't happy. And that's what the strategy is, surely. Surely the objective of a football club is to keep the fans happy.
So one thing I often say, and I sometimes get a bit of stick for this, in our group of West Ham friends, but I do genuinely believe it. Obviously, I don't want West Ham to go down, but the world of football right now, especially in the Premier League, and we talk about it with how we run hashtag. We try and make it sustainable and robust and have a model that means the club can continue for a very, very long time. West Ham United, in the current market, the only way to have a chance of kicking on is to basically buy a lottery ticket and go and spend the sorts of money we spent in the past and hope that the boys will kick on and fulfill. And even then, when you do that, you're competing against 6, 7 very good clubs already who are also doing the same. So you can have a great strategy, a great recruitment drive, and if it doesn't work out on the pitch, as it sometimes can, you then risk the financial stability of the club, and it can go south very, very badly, as it's done for other clubs who've dropped down the leagues. Ultimately, I believe, and this is my personal opinion, completely based on my own view only, is that West Ham need to just survive until this supposed alleged clause is in the contract of the ownership of the club and the government.
2023.
Yeah, that the stadium then becomes ownership, or they can sell the club, and the basic that deal sort of sets
just
there.
to clear, I don't think the stadium becomes owned. What happens in 2023 is there was a rule that was put in when Golden Sullivan took us to the London Stadium, that they couldn't sell the football club before that date, because if they didn't want it to be seen as profiteering, that a club getting this London Olympic Legacy Stadium to just get some more money in the bank. So they put in an amount of time.
They could say they would have to give, as we're led to believe, a proportion of the sale to...
Yeah, there's a fine. Essentially, they could sell it tomorrow, but they'd have to pay a load of money. And it would be at probably so much that would be not in their interest to do so. So that's always been the belief. My belief, personally, is that Golden Sullivan always planned to sell us. I know they're West Ham fans and all that, but I think they also know they are not either rich enough or prepared to spend the sort of money that will actually take us to where this stadium can take us. Because as much as it can take us to European football, only if we spend the money.
Here's what I'll say. Golden Sullivan obviously are in advanced years, both of them. If their legacy goes down as being the guys that secured us to a stadium that can secure the financial future of West Ham and be stewards of the club to such point where we have new owners that are willing to invest in the club to have a chance of taking it forward. And we have to be realistic. You can only say have a chance of taking it forward, because every other club that's already above us are all doing the same thing. A lot of them are getting new stadiums. A lot of them are getting investment. A lot of them are making great signings. So it's like the top 10 of the Premier League now. It's just impossible. So you can say have a chance. And that's what it's all about. The point I was about to go and make is that I don't begrudge West Ham not being a top 7, top 10 club. I don't mind that. I'm realistic about where we are. I'm a West Ham fan. I want to enjoy key moments, especially when we've got hashtag. For me personally, I love trying to beat Spurs for a game, try and mess up their Champions League bid, having a cup run. These are things that I like, sharing a moment at the ground with the family or with friends, enjoying those moments and just staying in the Premier League. But I'm not averse, and this is counterintuitive to what I'm saying about the stadium move, the potential takeover if it was to happen when that contract happens. I'm not averse to West Ham being the Championship. Now, I get a lot of enjoyment at West Ham being the Championship because you win more. You win more games. Going to the games or looking at the score is more enjoyable. Otherwise, you're realistically 1 in 10, 1 in 15 years having a really successful season, getting 7th, getting a +5 goal difference. Like what for? What's the ultimate goal? I want to support a football club to enjoy supporting football. And I don't really enjoy supporting football, watching West Ham struggle, everyone moan and whinge all the time, be in a negative atmosphere and clinging on to Premier League status. For what end?
Well, it's important to keep that context and that perspective. Yes, West Ham could be 20th in the Premier League. You're still in the top 20 teams in the country. There's still hundreds of teams.
What does that mean?
You. But at the same time, I look at a club like Everton. Now, Everton are a big club. They've got a big fan base and whatnot. I see us on level terms with them. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm deluded, right?
I think you're deluded.
I'm not saying that our squad is level with them.
No.
I'm saying as a club, fan base, the amount of people we can get in a stadium, I think we're getting 60,000 people
that's
every
true.
single week in that ground, even when we're negative and we're playing poorly.
That's true.
Right? And they have held their position for so many years now that, guess what? They were able to get Ancelotti as their manager. And now they've just signed James Rodriguez. And they've signed, 3 players from Barcelona in recent years, 1 from Real Madrid. We are never in the race for these players. And these guys aren't expensive, to be honest. I think they're probably paying a lot of wages that we aren't prepared to pay. But there's no reason why we can't be Everton. And in 5 to 10 years from now, Everton could be in the mix. You know, it wasn't that long ago that Man City weren't a thing.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't that long ago. Exactly. And that's obviously with huge,
Who had a stadium
investment.
move.
They had a stadium move which is very similar to our move because people forget it had a running track. It had a running track. It was the Commonwealth Stadium. But then when the new owners bought it off the City of Manchester, they converted it. That's always what I've believed
that will happen. That will happen. I believe. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it's 2 years, 5 years, or 20 years from now, but I believe that will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen.
The stadium move won't be a successul stadium move if we always have the running track. It's
Agreed.
always been a case in my head that one day
we've been to that ground. I don't know how many times now. Like, I'm not going to say hundreds because I don't think we have actually been because of the last few seasons, but it is nothing compared to the Bowling Ground as an experience to go to. It's a phenomenal looking stadium. We've got a great digital screen. Like, it's a great thing.
Sports arena.
It's a great sports
football
arena,
stadium.
but it is just not an amphitheatre of football. Like, we can have where we traditionally sit. We've changed seats recently. We've gone down into thicker things a bit more, right in the front. Where we sat before was right far back. We could have a conversation without having to raise our voices. Like, that's just a fact, right? That's just a pure fact. And yeah, that's another one of the reasons why, again, I just like, for me, it's particularly, it's an hour and a half to get there and back. Like, I just don't have the same motivation I had before to go there. And it's not just because of the hashtag. It's also because I just am not as excited.
Well, there's a much bigger chance of a loss when you go there. We haven't touched upon what's happened at the club. So since the Diangana sale, Mark Noble, the captain, has come out and tweeted and basically said, I don't agree with this sale. I'm not happy to see it. This is not cool. Declan Rice has liked it, commented on it. There's supposedly a bit of a fracture between certain players at the squad. Apparently David Moyes was dead against the sale as well. He's being overruled. Could we see him walk at some point? Like, he's being undermined at this point in time. How bad can it get before something bad happens? Some people have suggested that the board are being a bit braver in their decisions that they know are going to upset West Ham fans because they know there's not going to be fans at games for a certain period of time. So they're not going to have to deal with that animosity, not going to have to deal with any
I don't know
protests.
if they're worried about that anyway, to be honest. I think
the protests are not good for business.
The thing, that's true, they're not. But ultimately, I think when you become owners of a football club, and we haven't ever experienced this for obvious reasons, we're nowhere near that level, but I think you accept that you're sometimes going to be hated and vilified completely unfairly. Sometimes fairly, don't get me wrong, but sometimes people are never going to understand what goes on behind the scenes, how much work you do, sacrifice, how hard you try and do things. It's easy to ridicule and make fun and do memes and things. You don't really ever know it. I'm not saying, though, sometimes there isn't fun to be had, because at our club often there is, but you never really know. So ultimately, you're in a lose. I believe when you own a football club, you are pretty much hiding for nothing. You're just going to get a lot of stick, and sometimes it's not going to be fair. But that's part of it, and that's why when you're a steward of a football club, you're not just investing in it, got to do a lot of hard work, but you're also aware that you could sometimes just be working your backside off, and people just think you're the scum of the earth still. And okay, I'm not saying that our owners are whiter than white. I'm not saying I've done everything perfectly, or I agree with every decision being made. But equally, I'm still willing to give them a modicum of benefit of the doubt to a lot of things. Maybe some people aren't, simply because, in YouTube terms, or completely unrelated incident, you'll see the audience react to something like, if only they knew. If only they knew how much we do this, or how much we'd love to have done that. Oh, of course we would, guys, but it's not possible.
Yeah, but I do agree with that to an extent, and I obviously empathise with people having challenges running a football club, but I just compare us to other teams in the league. Of course. They're doing it better. They're doing it better.
End of the day, football is a results business.
There's no reason. We're a bigger club than Leicester. We're a much bigger club than Leicester. It's just a fact. To someone in another country now, they don't look at it like that because they see Leicester as a team that won the Premier League. I'm not saying we should be aiming for that. It's ridiculous that Leicester did that. But they have kicked on. They're going to be in European football next year. They've got Brendan Rodgers. They're buying good players. When they lose a good player, they get a good replacement. That doesn't happen with us. If Declan Rice goes, we're going to be re-signing Carlos Sanchez on a free transfer, mate. That is it. Souček and Bowen I like. I do think people are forgetting
there have
them.
been some great signings.
Good additions. Just as important in Antonio in keeping us in the league last year. So that is important. But for me, for this to become a positive aura around West Ham between now and, it's not going to be the start of the season, but before the season, because we've got a tough start to the season as well, fixture-wise.
Very, very tough first 6-7 games.
To stop this snowballing into a seriously negative situation, we need to make a signing between now and the end of the transfer window. It is a first team
addition.
Improves the first
immediately goes in, no debate. Yeah, you're
I
right.
would have rather seen Felipe Anderson leave than Diangana.
Yeah. And the thing is, I just think there weren't the offers for him. I think that's what it was. There weren't the offers for him. The only offer they had was for Diangana. They had no choice. I think that's what it was.
They had to pay this Hallow installment.
I honestly feel we are in a batten down the hatches situation. I don't feel like this is going to be in a season to get too excited. I know you've got your Premier League predictions video coming up soon. If I'm making my own prediction right now, the absolute most optimistic I can be is 17th.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm pretty confident that this will be the lowest I've ever predicted West Ham in the Premier League predictions video when I do it.
Normally there's some hope, right?
The only thing I will say,
enough to buy into.
I don't think we are going to necessarily get relegated because it's Moyes having a full season at the club, and I think he might be all right. You know, he got relegated with Sunderland, but he took that. He didn't have the whole season, and we'll see.
We've got to remember, Moyes did a absolutely phenomenal job at Everton, enough of a job to get given the biggest job in football at the time, Manchester United job. It didn't work out for him, as we've seen since then. Maybe not actually as bad as his fault as people thought, and then maybe that knocked him off his stride a bit, and he struggled a bit with his next few jobs. But ultimately, the guy still is a successful manager in the Premier League. So I am totally fine with David Moyes in charge of our club.
But mate, in a week from now, we might be making a video about Moyes not being at the club anymore.
True, things change quick.
It's getting that way with West Ham. Something's got to give for sure. The fans need a boost, regardless.
We need something. We need a lift.
If you're not a West Ham fan, you don't quite get it. I'm very confident in saying, if you supported this football club, you'd be frustrated right now. And we are probably two of the most level-headed West Ham fans you're going to get when you consider that we run a football club, so we can give owners the benefit of the doubt as much as we possibly can. We aren't the kind of, reactionary, like going to go mental if a player gets sold because we'll look at the big picture. We're quite calm and collected in that way. Obviously, we still want to see our team do well, and we still love it when it happens and hate it when it doesn't. But I don't think there's any West Ham fans I've spoken to, and I know a lot of them, who are happy right now.
Ultimately, Spen, like you said, we could be making a video about David Moyes leaving. If Yarmolenko and Anderson start the season on fire, Haller starts banging them in, West Ham gets some points from games we're not expected to, everyone's buzzing again.
Yeah, 100%, but it's a huge if.
It's a huge if.
Our best players are very injury prone. Yarmolenko, Antonio, both very injury prone. Wilshere might as well not be there. I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens, but it's not a great time. It could be worse. At the end of the day, we're not back in the season yet. Once we're in the season, we could have a very bad first month. We've got some tough
I don't see many wins for us.
That usually sets up a relegation battle for us.
We've got to beat Newcastle.
Yeah, first game of the season is massive. They've signed people we should be signing.
And we're not going to have a Souček, are we?
Souček might be out because he's been exposed to someone with coronavirus. So, listen, we'll probably make a follow-up video to this in about a month and see where West Ham are. Hopefully we won't. Hopefully it'll be going great. We don't
Stay of the Union.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that situation, but challenge over to Golden Sullivan.
Good news is hashtag have started 2 wins from 2.
Yeah, hashtag are flying.
Happy day.
Come to the FA Cup game this Sunday.
See you there.
Get involved. But yeah, West Ham need to do something.
Yeah.
Gold Sullivan, challenge to you. You got a couple of weeks of the window left. Do something special or else you could have a riot on your hands. Just saying. Right, that's it for our West Ham update video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments below what else you'd like to see us talk about. Make sure you subscribe to Seb on Golf. Fantastic golf videos coming at you like Cleopatra. Until next time, don't go changing. Come on, you Irons.
Irons.
Sort it out.
Irons.